All right, all right, all right. Hello, I see Superstar Katrina on here and Superstar Candace.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Every day we press forward. So I'm excited to press forward. I'm really, really excited about what we're about to accomplish here today. Um, so let me mute my TV back here so that way that backdrop noise isn't in the part of it. Um, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I do need my tea though. I
You
gotta.
haven't had tea? It's too early.
Yeah, it's a little early.
Well, I must say I've been up a long time, so
I know. I saw your messages this morning. I'm like, whoo.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So no,
We still waiting for
let,
more people to join though, right? Or is it just us?
no. So people be coming in. Because we are live. We're on YouTube,
Okay.
and I just shared it on my Facebook too. So I'm gonna set the format down as people come in and out of the conversation. But I do want to make sure that uh, you and Constance know each other. Are you
Yes,
there, Constance?
yes.
Connie. Can you rather you go by Connie or Constance?
Connie's fine.
Excellent. We can't see you, Connie.
I don't know why you can't. What do you want? What do I do? I can
Press
see
that
you.
press that red button, that line going between video.
It says live. That one.
Now down on the bottom it should say mute and or a microphone and then a camera looking
So I should push camera or mute.
hit camera.
Okay, let me go back. Let me see. I did something. Camera, camera,
We
camera.
probably need to start doing tests.
Oh, there it is. Ooh, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Good morning. This is
Excellent.
all new to me.
Hey, we live and we learn. It's all good. So
Exactly.
I'm gonna kick us off and set the direction. Then I want you guys to give your introductions as well. So for those who don't know, my name is Cy Smith. It's Cyron, but people just call me Cy. It's easier to pronounce than Cyron. And I'm the founder of National Block Club University. Our entire mission is centered around doing right by Black people when it comes to the killing. And I believe in order to tackle the killing, it's a whole lot of other things that need to be in order. And so this is why we're doing this. In this case today, the nurses convention, because I'm gonna share with you guys why I think nurses and people in home health care play a role in making our neighborhoods more stable and stronger and vibrant. But that's why NBCU exists. Last weekend we had another convention, outdoor fishing. So that was an interesting convention. And next weekend we're going to have the doctors and dentists convention. The ideal goal is for us to be physically together, but we are in a pandemic, so we're being socially responsible right now by being here on Zoom. But as soon as things are in better control, we want to get to the physical part. And our big partner is Kay Abrams out of Gary, Indiana. She has the Grant Theater. And so we have exclusive rights to use her space. And so it is our intent and goal is to have the conventions for at least the first 2 years, this year and next year, at the Grant Theater. And so hopefully you two ladies will be able to next year join us there in Grant at the Grant Theater in Gary, Indiana.
Oh, for
So
sure.
yeah, so enough of that. The format is this. We're going to hear from people who have sacrificed their time and effort to care for the loved ones and people that we love. And these are our healthcare professionals, i.e. nurses. So you're going to have on this Zoom several people come on at different points in this 1 hour. And I have 7 questions here and you're going to hear from each person. But at the end of today, we want to walk away with 2 things. We want to walk away with what would be next year's theme. And uh, it should be a theme for every city, but depending on who gets on, we'll play that by ear. But we do want to have a nursing theme going into next year's convention. And that theme will tell us what should be printed on the shirts, the shirts that we're going to be using to promote this trade of nursing. And then the second thing is we linked all fifth graders to nurses and healthcare professionals. So we're hoping that later on tonight, we will be able to offer something to the fifth graders from you guys as nurses and healthcare professionals. So those are two takeaways that I hope to get out of today. So enough of hearing me speak. You want to go first? Katrina? Then we hear from Connie, and then I am expecting Angela, Tiffany, Brittany, Tasha. So it should be about 6 people all together today.
Sure. My name is Katrina Turman. I've been a nurse for 18 years now, since 2003. I graduated from West Suburban and Concordia College of Nursing long time ago. Started immediately in the ICU. Still my love to this day. Dibbled and dabbed in different areas of nursing. That's the one thing that I do like about nursing, because you can explore different components. If you get burnt out in one area, there's other areas in which you can explore and continue to learn. You know, I always say you can be great at many things, but you can't specialize in everything. So with that being said, right now I am working in a cath lab in cardiology. And I do like that a lot, because we do have a lot of autonomy, a lot of room to grow. Working at the VA allows us to, do things, a lot of administrative things that I have not experienced when I was doing critical care. Pretty much that's my story.
Now, some of our people won't know half of what you just said. I made a few notes: cat lab, critical care. So before this hour is over, our people are going to be more versed on nursing and the different components of it. But that's just introduction. So we'll come back around. You want to go ahead, Connie?
Yes, my name is Constance Coleman. And like I said, this is my first time doing it. Let's talk me into this. So
I'm so happy that you're on here.
Yeah, I'm coming on out. I've been in the healthcare business of taking care of people ever since I was a little girl. And I've been I could never be a nurse because I'm fully dyslexic. So it's always hindered me in my lifestyle. But I've worked in hospitals, and my caring heart, I just love taking care of people. It's my passion, and I do it well from the heart. So I've talked my daughter into becoming a nurse because she has the same loving compassion heart that I have. She's just not dyslexic. So we love caring for people.
Yeah.
And I found a job that I could do, and I did it well. For 17 years, I got into sales and perfume. And even doing that, I still cared. I kept my side thing, doing what I do best, and that's loving someone. So I've always wanted to open up my own personal, private home, and where I just take care of, just pour love into and so that's what I do now. I do that, and I love it. And oh, you want to say something?
I was going to say, it's very beautiful that you and Katrina are on the phone at the same time, because you guys are off this call. I want to make sure that you guys exchange numbers, because I see some strategicness there.
Yeah. So what I do now is I go into homes, and I'm the personal private aide that's there, and and I want to do it in a home where they're just pouring love. If Miss Smith wants to wear her Sunday best on Wednesday, we just make that happen, and just keep them comfortable, and just pour love into them. And I cook very well. I love it, and I'm just gonna take this little to show you, put a little love on what I do. Is I have a 95-year-old that I think that I'm losing now. And I've been with her a little over 2 years, and I noticed she's stopping eating. So just this, I've never done this before. This is why I know where this comes from. It comes from God above. And I saw an apple, and I gave her a little cinnamon cracker, and she was licking that cinnamon cracker. And I was thinking, how could I get some cinnamon into her body? I took the apple and I skinned the apple and I cooked it. And I put cinnamon in the apple. And I took a banana and I smashed it and cooked it together into a, it's gonna bring, it's bringing tears to my heart because I'm losing her and I know it. But her daughter was so worried she's not eating. And I took a little lemon juice, just the love I have for cooking and compassion. She ate the whole bowl. And they was like her husband, because she lives in the house with them. I'm in Naperville. I don't know if you're in Chicago and even know what Naperville is, but because I don't know where you live right now. I I noticed that she's gone. Have we lost her? Katrina? I don't see her face. Is she still there?
Katrina, you're on mute, Katrina.
I'm so sorry. I am still here. I just needed to step away, so I just moved the camera. I
Okay.
heard everything you said.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
Wait, you guys know each other already?
No, ma'am.
no,
No, sorry.
no,
So how are
but
you giving the example on who you almost lost to Katrina?
oh no, I was just telling. She's showing that I'm I know that I'm losing her. She's 95 years old, and like I say, I've been with her, and we built this bond, and she tells me every day how she says you're blessed, but she's really blessed too because she worked in a home after retiring for 15 years as you off on mute again. Are you, can I hear
I'm
you?
here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay,
listening.
okay, good. I thought you said something. And so to make another story short, I smashed it up, and her son-in-law that lives in the home, because she sold her home and they took her and put her into their home. They've turned their living room and dining room into her area,
Exactly.
and they live in other parts of the house. And that's why I know my job is needed, for when they say you can't go home, you can't go back to your home anymore. And family members just want to know that their loved ones is being loved and cared for. And that's why I know, even being dyslexic and I never can be a nurse, I still can bring
Now,
my love in it. And that's what dyslexic teaches you how to do. You just got to go about it different kind of way.
now,
Absolutely.
now,
And
Katrina,
so,
are that not that I like when you say you can't do it? Is that your estimation or is that the law? Like, who
no,
said you can't do
no,
it? Is that the law?
no, I mean far as getting a nursing degree. I mean, the school part of it would be me being dyslexic because it's so deep. It allows me to,
Okay,
it's difficult. I transpose,
okay,
and
okay,
I've lost jobs because when
okay,
they find out you dyslexic, and I've
okay.
lost jobs in hospitals, and I've it used to hurt, but now I do it my way now. I just don't go there. I do how I gotta
That's
do
the
it. You gotta.
benefit. That's the benefit of getting older. Things don't bother you as much.
Oh
Right.
no. Oh yeah. Yes. And
So
when you put God into it too,
yeah,
he just brings it around a different kind of way. And like I said, the perfume business, I was able to do it. I loved it, but my heart is into
taking care of people.
caring,
Now
taking care.
we got to bring up our other guests, and then I got a series of questions I'm gonna ask everyone. Then I want to talk about your specialty, and so Lillian, I believe that is Tasha, but can
It
you
is.
introduce yourself?
I'm still here, guys. I just have to do something real quick. I
Yep,
hear you guys.
yep.
Okay.
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 It's on you, Tasha.
Okay, so what would you like to know, Mr. Cyron? I'm doing like 85 things at once. So
No,
please target.
introduction. Yeah, we doing introductions.
Hey, my name is Tasha Holloway. I've been in the nursing industry for a good 18 years as an LPN. And as we know, we've gotten called so many names, from low paid nothings to little petty nurses, and why do they hire you anyway? However, as an LPN, I've been trained by so many RNs that saw my capabilities, to the fact that I have, not on paper, but I have the same knowledge as a nurse practitioner would have. I have had to, off the record, do certain procedures that only RNs are allowed to do. For instance, I have had to go and flush an IV with medication before, and the RN signed off on it. And I didn't know it was illegal at the time, but modern day today, if they find out about it, that could be my job. A lot of things that the RNs and the doctors don't have time to do, the little LPNs like me, they treat us the same as CNAs.
Wait, let's because I wanted to get the introduction done first, because then we gotta let the people who may never have really heard a conversation with nurses kind of know big picture who you guys are, what different fields it is, and then go into what you just described, the difference between an LPN and CNN. I want to walk away with that education
Gotcha.
for everyone after we have completed the introductions, which we just have. So
Yes, sir.
let me come back. And I hope I got all of you guys for this whole hour, because it's going to take the whole hour to get all of this information in front of people. It is being recorded. It is running live. And so don't say nothing you don't want the world to see, and have a document.
But listen, if you don't mind, can I go first? Because I do have to leave to go for a funeral.
What time?
I have to be at the funeral at 11. And
Okay, so we got at least 10 minutes with you. Right.
Okay.
All right, yeah, that's good. All right, so can we let people know who may be oblivious to nursing? I think everyone knows nurses care for people, but I think the big thing is, what are the different types of nurses? That's one question. What are the different types of nurses? And then what will be required to become that? So if we can go around and let's shape that first. What are the different types of nurses? And then Tasha is scheduled to talk about the difference between the nurses and doctors. So we'll let Tasha go up right after we get this frame, so everyone will know what are the different types of nurses. So you want to start off, Katrina?
Well, the first nurse that I could think of is your CNA, which is your certified nursing assistant. The second will be an LPN, which is known as the licensed practice nurse. Then you have your registered nurse, and they come in two phases. Some have an associate degree, which is a 2-year degree, and they're associate degree RN, but they're still RNs. And then you have your 4-year degree registered nurse, which is your bachelor's degree registered nurse. As far as the hospital settings, some institutions don't hire 2-year RNs as much. A few years ago, it really wasn't an issue. And then you have your nurse practitioners, which are your master prepared nurses. And then you have your DNP, your doctor in nursing, your doctors of nursing. So
wait, I didn't write that down. So after 4-year registered nurse, you said something else. What was the other thing?
So your master's degree nurse, which can be a nurse practitioner, or they can be like a specialist in education. So they can take their master's in different arenas.
Okay.
Some go in and become your nurse practitioner, or they become a clinical specialist. Those are all master levels. And then you have your doctor of nursing, which pretty much are your college educated professors of nursing. If anyone else has any add-ons, please add on.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone we missing anything there in nurses? And we do have Brittany who just came on, so we go hear this and then bring Brittany up with her introduction. Did we miss anything, you guys?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay. Brittany, we're doing introductions, so you mind stating who you are, what city, and then how long you've been a nurse?
Can y'all hear me and see me?
I can't see you. I can
Can't
hear
see. Can't hear you.
Um,
I can hear you.
okay, I don't know how to fix this.
It's a little camera. Hit the button that looks like a camera, and it'll make it where you can see.
The button that looks like
It's a microphone and the camera right next to each other, so we can hear you. So the microphone is working. Now we just need to hit the camera.
Okay. Hey.
Excellent. So introduction and how long you been nursing?
My name is Brittany. I've been a nurse for over 3 years. And what was the third one?
No. Who you are? Did y'all hear her name though? I guess they can see it on your phone. So Brittany.
I'm
So,
Brittany.
all right. So where we're at right now, we're getting ready to hear from Tasha. Tasha is about to go into how are doctors and nurses different. So Tasha is discussing that, but everyone should chime in so our audience can walk away with a broader perspective. So Tasha, you got it.
Okay. Well, doctors and nurses are very different. I've worked with some great doctors. I've worked with some horrible doctors. The doctors are the ones that give the orders. In other words, tell us what to do, and we're the ones that do it. Let's just say, for instance, someone stops breathing and the doctor is there. The doctor is the one who's administering the life-saving medication, whatever it may be, that's out of our scope of practice. Like there's only so many drugs that an LPN and RN can give, but some of those drugs have to be administered by a doctor. So our job as the nurse is to be, I don't want to say the yes man, but almost like a sous chef in cooking. We are to prep the rooms for the doctors. We are to gather the information. We are to make sure that we introduce ourselves, then introduce the doctor as he makes his entrance, and then go over the paperwork and things like that before they, after their visit, and then make sure we schedule their next appointment if they don't have a receptionist in place. And a lot of your smaller clinics, they don't have that in place. So it's on the nurse to do a lot of things like that. As far as like the different specialties go, I've worked in long-term care, I've worked in hospice, and I have also worked in a plasma center where the roles are very different. The nurses in the plasma center, all we do is physicals. We go in and we do the same physical that you would get at the doctor's office by a doctor, only the nurse is equipped to do that, and we work under the doctor's license. If anything goes on, then we tell the doctor, and the doctor is always on call to alleviate any situation and or give orders to send that person from the clinic to the emergency room. In long-term care, the nurses run it. The doctors come and do rounds like maybe once, maybe twice a week. But again, we're under their license. There are certain orders that are called standing orders, meaning if you take one particular medication, these labs or these particular procedures automatically go with it. So you have already standing orders, so the doctor doesn't have to repeat each and every time, okay, do this order, do that order. It's already a standing order. Now, if we have a special case, then we have to call for a clarification order to the doctor to give to us. And what am I missing?
What? Now, I was going to ask, is that different in a small rural town hospital versus an urban center?
It's
big city?
widespread. It's widespread. I know the rules are slightly different in other states from some of the nursing groups I'm in. Some of the nurses in other states can do a lot more than we can do here in Illinois. Like some nurses can draw blood, some LPNs can draw blood in other states, whereas we can't unless we get a special certification.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that. So no blood drawing for LPNs. Is
No
that
blood
all the
draws
other
for
nurses?
LPNs?
You guys, that's the consistent, no drawing blood?
Not for
I do
LPN,
everything.
Not for right, for LPNs, they're not able to.
unless we have a special certification.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was gonna say. So a LPN, they're really just an administrator. Like, I guess that brings up, what does the LPN do then?
The
No,
LPNs primarily, we educate the patients, we pass
Yeah.
the medication, we do like the leg work. The RNs are more likely in supervisory positions to oversee the LPNs as they pass the medications and things like that, to implement the code blues and to implement other things that go on, because a LPN by state statutes are not allowed to run a facility, although some facilities allow an LPN to be in charge with an RN on call. So if, God forbid, something happens in that facility, the RN on call is responsible.
So and I, this goes back to what we just previously left from. I wanted you to get your full conversation out there. But so a CNM definitely can't draw blood,
A
and they can't even teach
CNA,
patients.
a CNA, certified nursing assistant, that's the eyes and ears of the whole team, whereas the LPN in most cases, and I'm talking about typical cases, the LPNs were walking around with this big heavy med cart passing medications. The CNAs, they're the ones who assist in feeding, assist in the what they call ADLs, activities of daily living. They're getting them dressed, they're combing their hair, they're watching for a fall. They're saying, hey, well, Cyron a little tired today. You may want to come and take a look at them. And then by the advice of the CNA, then we stop what we're doing, go check that patient out to determine whether or not that's their baseline or whether or not it's warranting further investigation.
I completely agree with Lillian regarding.
Tasha, it just says Lillian because of my baby.
Yeah, it's Tasha.
Tasha, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
In that regards to a CNA, not that, I don't want people to feel like, oh, well, they can't do this, that, and the other. She's absolutely right. They are the eyes and ears. We need our CNAs. They are valuable.
Oh, yes.
They are very important to our job, and to have a good one. I mean, they are hard to come by. So I love my CNAs. I can't do my job without them, and they are definitely needed.
Well,
and,
no, that's what I was gonna ask. So, Connie, is that more what you are? Is that what you are?
That's the hands-on, right? That's the hands-on. That's the see all
Okay.
and know all. They know
Okay.
all
All right.
about. Well, they
So,
should, Yeah,
so let's go.
that's what
Okay.
I'm talking about doing. In my home, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Just hands-on, being right there and tender love and care, just pouring that love into them, and just to keep them with some pride and some dignity and some
Now,
love.
now we gonna talk about the business side too. That's on the agenda. So let's get Tasha closed out because she got to go. So Tasha, give us your best and worst experience in your 18 years in nursing.
My best experience was when I was trained to do psychotropic psychotropic management. Now, psychotropics are your medications like your antidepressants, some of the seizure medications, some of the medications that are used to manage behaviors, like you have someone that's acting out. You may need something to calm them down. Right. You need something to calm them down. However, not everyone knows that, hey, every so often you need to review that patient again, and you have to have them on the lowest dose possible of that medication. So my job as a psychotropic nurse was to do the quarterly reviews to see if this patient could actually be decreased on the medication or if they had to be maintained on the medication. That included behavior tracking and a lot of updating care plans. And that pulled me off the floor, which I was forever grateful, because all I had to do was go around and talk to patients and evaluate their status. Of course, I was responsible for making sure that the patient was actually getting the medication. And I was also part of management. And another great thing that happened to me while I was at the same job, they opened a cardiac unit, and I was one of the first LPNs to be asked to help run the cardiac unit. Of course, we had an RN on staff, but it was an RN and an LPN. The LPNs, we were responsible for doing the EKGs when the patient first arrived on the unit. We would take it to the RN. The RN will tell us what to do. We couldn't start the IVs, but we can go and hang the fluids and things like that. And we had to monitor those patients like every 30 minutes because they are cardiac patients. And that was all love.
All right, let's get that other side.
But the other side, oh my Jesus Christ, was working at a plasma center. Plasma center, oh my God, it was like a clinic experience. And I talked about us doing the physicals, and with the physical comes a drug test. And if the patient or the donor, as they like them to be called, if they failed the drug test, you know, oftentimes we were called out of our names. They would try to fight us, but thank God we had security. So we had to implement a code, and our "we need help" code was, "Hey honey, what's for dinner?" So if the security heard, "Hey honey, what's for dinner?" then they knew that we were in trouble, and it wouldn't alert the donor.
Can I time you out?
You sure can.
What do you mean? So they fail a drug test and they threatening you at the job?
Yes, because of the simple fact, plasma is needed to help people with underlying conditions like hemolytic anemia, like some HIV patients need the plasma, and that's the very important part of the blood. The plasma gets filtered out of their blood, and then they get the blood back into their system along with fluids so that their body can make more plasma.
But I'm saying if they fail in the drug test, I'm just trying to understand, like, so these are random people?
Random people, they come in, they want to donate plasma, which they get a stipend because they don't want to say that they're stealing.
They want that money to pay for
it. Okay, I seen that. Yeah, I seen those. Okay, and they get violent.
That's how they make their quick $50.
And you know, and some plasma centers pay very well. Some plasma centers pay very well, and some of them don't. But sometimes people just need that like $20 or $40. But if you fail a drug test, then you're permanently deferred, meaning you can never come back. And that is like system wide. So if you fail a drug test at one company, you can't go to another company because they're going to see that, hey, you failed a drug test over here. We can't allow you to donate.
Is marijuana considered drugs for in this case?
They don't test for marijuana. The one that I worked at never tested for marijuana, but because marijuana is legalized, I would assume that wouldn't even be a factor, especially if they have a marijuana card. The facilities that test for marijuana, I would assume that if you have a marijuana card, then it may be okay. I'm not well versed in the marijuana aspect, but I know that we tested for hardcore drugs like cocaine, meth, barbiturates, and opiates.
Well, I don't know if I'll be wanting to poke them in. You at the halfway mark. So give me the last thing before you go, Tasha. For next year, when we physically get together, it will be March 4th through the 6th. Next year, March 4th through the 6th. What should be the theme from your vantage point? And we're going to hear from everyone, and we'll put that together to come up with an overall. What would be next year's theme for all the youngsters and everyone knowing coming into next year what nurses are trying to make a statement on?
All nurses stick together because of the simple fact, I think that there is like too much argument between LPNs and RNs when essentially we're doing the same thing. We're caring for the patients, and the facilities that I've worked at some really great facilities, some family oriented facilities, meaning that our coworkers were our family. So
what's the thing? All nurses stick together?
Yeah, all nurses stick together regardless of the title.
All right. Well, I thank you for your time, your contribution, and you'll be able to watch this when you relax and whatnot. It'll be on YouTube. So I know you got to get to it. So I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, have a great
Excellent.
day, nurses. Have a great day, Siron.
All right, now I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
so if we could, anyone want to add to what Tasha said before we go to Brittany, so we can hear from Brittany? But anyone want to add to what Tasha said?
No.
I'm gonna tell you, I was really shocked about this. I didn't realize that they got supply centers in Gary, Indiana, and I see look like homeless people going in there. But now I can see that could be a problem. You know, that's
Going in
why
where now?
on Broadway in Gary, you see kind of the people who might be struggling going in there. And now that I know they're making money, now I see why they might be going in there. You know, it's
For the blood thing.
yeah, the plasma centers.
Yeah,
That's everywhere.
they don't want no bad blood. I didn't want to jump in with when she was explaining that that ain't what they can't do nothing with bad blood. So no, that's why they do drug tests, because if you that's what you're doing out there.
So they
A lot
checking
of
for
them,
HIV too, right? I mean, I don't know HIV
all,
blood.
all of it, it's
Oh yeah.
bad blood, bad. Yeah, once you they just, if you're a drug addict, you're dangerous. They ain't trying to give healthy people bad blood.
Right. No, it makes sense. I get that part. All right. So we got Brittany here. Brittany, I want you to talk about traveling nursing. So our audience will know, and then one contribute as well once Brittany is done with you. But what is it? What's the pros and cons of it?
Wait, repeat that because you're going in and out.
I'm missing something.
Traveling nurses. Traveling nurses. What is it? And what's good and bad about traveling nurses?
Well, I stopped doing travel nursing because of a bad experience. Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I currently have a permanent job at under the Kindred Healthcare, and I just recently took on a PRN job at Mount Sinai. Ooh, pray for me. But I stopped doing travel nursing because my first experience was really bad. I experienced discrimination, and it pretty much turned me off. But travel nursing is pretty much where, as a nurse, you pretty much get paid to do what you would do at a permanent job, but you get paid a little bit more because you could get sent anywhere, and you work with agencies and a recruiter at that agency, and you pretty much let them know like what type of skills you have, what's your specialty, and they will send you on assignments wherever you're willing to go. In those areas, it could be, if you're open, very open, the better. Okay, because every day that you're at work, they get paid. So you get a stipend for traveling or for lodging, and then you also get paid your taxable, which is what you make hourly. And then you go to the facilities, and whatever specialty you work in, that's the unit that you work on, and you, like I said, you just work a regular shift. But it could be harder than working a permanent job because you're not a regular staff, and they know that. So they're going to give you the hardest patients, the most patients, because they figure, well, you get paid all this money, you can handle it.
Okay, that's good insight.
Yes.
That's good insight for youngsters to know.
Yes, you really have to be confident in your skills and be very autonomous.
Wow. Katrina, what's your thoughts all your years in nursing? Does that balance?
That completely balanced. The one thing that I maybe slightly disagree with Tasha, and it could have been perhaps because I wasn't for sure she was speaking in general for RNs, or was she just speaking about LPN? We do have a lot of autonomy. We are running, if someone codes, that nurse is running that code. Because half of the time, I don't know what facilities the other nurses are from, but I'm always from teaching hospitals. So the fellows have no idea what to do. So if you don't have a strong nurse in that room, we're pushing, we're doing compressions, we're doing everything. That doctor may think they're giving the orders, but it's actually that strong nurse with that years of experience that's running that code, that is saving the lives of our family members and loved ones. So
So is that the 2-year registered nurse? Or that's because she's speaking from the LPN, right?
Right. So any registered nurse can push meds and provide life-saving medication. We don't need a doctor to do that. And depending on what unit you are in, I'm always been in the critical care units. If I see something wrong, I am doing what I need to do for my patients and writing an order or notifying my doctor. You know, there's scopes, you know, there's a scopes of practice that you have to stay within. And some facilities do have what they call standards of orders that the RN can work under. But if you're knowledgeable and experienced enough, you need to do what you need to do to save your patient, and you discuss what you did with your doctor later.
Yeah.
So, there you go, right, Brittany?
Right? Like,
know,
I'm just gonna let
because-
you know what orders you put in.
Exactly.
And
I'm just telling
another
you that this is
thing,
what happened. Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for that, because a fellow or doctor knows that if you got a good nurse taking care of their patients,
yeah, and
you know.
majority of the time the doctor's not there. The nurses are always there. The doctors are not there, and that's what I when the other lady was talking,
Tasha,
you
Tasha.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Tasha was speaking, you know, at one time I used to work into in the nursing homes, but the kind heart that I have, that type of work just ate a person like me alive. You know, that's why I had to step out and do my own personal private thing, because when you pour your heart into something like that, the nursing homes, some of them don't even have hearts, and they'll it's all about the money. It's all
But
about,
but is that burnout? Like, I want to make sure we go come back to that, because I want to check on burnout with you guys. We go talk about
it
funding.
burns out all the way up to the
Burnout.
top. It starts at the A all the way to the you. They'll use you till you just don't have nothing else for them. It just turns you
So
away from the love. You know.
Kids are gonna listen at this. So if we say that in totality, we might scare off that 5th grader that want to become a nurse. So I want to keep that in mind. Like, give me some good too. But we gonna come back to that.
The good is if you don't have a caring heart and a loving heart, this ain't what you need to be getting into, because you will take
Right.
that one job that you have and you'll be doing 10 jobs.
Yeah.
But you know, because it's so much that's depending on how big the facility is and how much they care, and because it's all about the dollar to them. Is where I'm, and your poor little can hard to just get sucked on up, you know.
well, we go frame that at 18 minutes here, so let me speed up here real quick. So, Brittany, anything else on your end with the traveling nurses? Why should a kid want to grow up and become a traveling nurse?
Here's the thing. My thing is, you can be nurse anywhere and do anything. Of course, you got to find out what works for you. But my thing was, I like nursing, but it ain't free to go to school and pay for school you can't afford when you're there. My thing was I do plan to go back to travel nursing, but my thing was to go back, build up my skills a little bit, my confidence, and then go back into it. The reason why I prefer to do travel nursing is because of the benefits. And my thing was, there's pros and cons to everything. And yes, you do have harder patients and more patients, but the more confidence you get with your skills, the more independent you are, the better that part gets. There's some things that are never going to be, you're never going to be able to get past. Discrimination, dealing with things that are a little bit harder, not knowing the facility like everybody else because you're only there for a couple of weeks. Like, that part, you have to just kind of suck it up. But the benefits is you get to travel for free. Most of the time, if you know how to work it. You get to travel for free. You get to see the world. You can travel, I mean, anyway, even like cross the seas, they will pay you. They even pay you more money if you go to like Saudi Arabia or some stuff. Like, they will pay you. If you got the skills, they will pay you. Just be careful not to go into a war zone, but they will pay you.
Now, that's great advice for the youngsters. I love that.
No, there's good money in nursing. If you know where to find it, not every place is going to pay you fairly and you have to fight for it. But with me, when it came to travel nursing, unless you're going to get a master's degree, that to me, that was the only way I was going to get paid more money. where I can be making like $100,000 a year and not have to do master's degree, because it's very hard to make that kind of money as a nurse. You know, we can make decent money between like 55 to 80 something thousand a year being on the floor, regular nurse, depending on years of experience. But if you want to make that like within the first 2 years, travel nursing or being in a master's degree is pretty much the only way you're going to make that kind of money. And I like being a nurse. I have a heart for it, but I don't want to do it for free, and I don't want to do it not making what I'm worth.
Absolutely.
Now, what would you say finally should be the theme for next year, going into next year, 2022?
So many things. I really like the her first idea, us all coming together. And the reason why is because especially through this pandemic, it has shown more than anything that these hospitals are really turning on us. Because they want us. I mean, I've seen some places, people I talk to, they want you to take up 25 patients, 10 patients, because they have so many coming in the door. And they don't realize that even with all these people that need help and you bring them all in, trying to care for them, we are one person. I can't possibly take care of that many, and they gonna all make it through the night. Somebody gonna die. Okay? It's the truth, because I cannot focus. You barely can do a full assessment taking more than 5 patients on a regular night. How can I possibly take care of more than that? There's gonna be mistakes that are gonna be made. Lives are gonna be, taken away when they don't have to. And these hospitals, they don't want to pay for the nurse. Some of them don't. They're turning away travel nurses because they don't want to pay all the money to have them there. They want to catch them as soon as they can.
So what theme is this, Britt?
So my thing is
Mad at hospital thing.
my thing is, I like that, but I like the fact that they're all coming together. But I also want to add what is it called? Advocacy. I would do advocacy, but and part of that is us coming together, but also for the patients as well, because I feel like you said before, it's all about money, and no one is really advocating for the nurse or the patient. The nurses are doing both.
So yours is more advocacy for patients. Okay, well, I appreciate you. So we got and this one here, Connie, I want Katrina to go next, and then because you two are gonna rock and roll, I can tell already. So the next portion is gonna be centered around how can nurses run a successful for-profit business. So Brittany had a good segue. You might not make the money you want to make in that field. What can you do outside of that? So Katrina, you mind taking it from? We are at 13 minutes left, so I want to give time for Connie. And then I got a closing, so I'm gonna need at least 5 minutes. So you go ahead, you got it.
I'll be quick. I just feel like with nursing, do what you love. And if your passion is providing care, find a way to do that, but do it in your own way. So for me, I've been, like I said, in critical care mostly my whole career. And I'm like, okay, I want to figure out how I can determine my own worth. So I opened up a non-medical home care business. I just got my license in October. So you have to figure out, once you figure out what you can do, let that work for you. And our degree can be used in so many different avenues. It doesn't always have to be in a hospital setting. We can figure out how to create our own revenue, because as Brittany said, that the hospitals don't advocate. It's about making money, right? The hospitals are losing money. So if we continue to allow the hospitals to determine how we're going to maintain our life, or how we live, then what does that say about us? We're better than that. We know we all are descendants of God. And at that point, then allow that gift to just take us wherever we want to go.
So I like that, but so you said losing money. I didn't have that factored in.
You realize,
so if they're losing money, so if they're losing money, doesn't it behoove everyone to kind of decentralize? Because that's what society is. It's about breaking down this one, everything going into one. So is that where society is going with nursing?
So the thing is we've been speaking about burnout. We've been speaking about hospitals not really being able to pay the nurses, or just pretty much any employee what they deserve, because what happens is you got Medicaid, Medicare, HMO, all these insurance companies, they're not paying the hospitals, right? So now the hospitals bills are piling up. And then before you know it, you realize, okay, maybe the hospitals is getting to the point that they can't even meet payroll, right? So the bigger question is, how do we find an infrastructure to prevent that from happening, right? So if we can decrease the demand on the hospital by trying to keep people healthy and well at home, how can we do that? So there's different avenues in which we can figure out as nurses to help our community stay well at home. And that's why I kind of came up with Benevolence Home Services, just to find a way to help people, because some of these things are treatable at home. Some of these things are preventable. But when you don't have anyone in the community or in the household or in the family that can educate, and show them, hey, this can be done differently, then what happens? They use the hospital as an ER, as a clinic. And that's why we're becoming overwhelmed and they're not making any money. That's just my 5 cents on it. And that's it.
So just so people would know, especially our youngsters, you've been in nursing how long?
Since 2003, 18 years.
So you've been a nurse in 18 years. So they might be wanting to be a nurse, and you're saying they should get the experience and then branch off and start their own. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. You have to get the experience. You have to get the knowledge. You have to be able to know how to do an assessment. You need to know what you're getting into before you branch off. Some people, maybe they have that talent and they can do it without it. But for me, you have to kind of be able to know what you're dealing with before you branch off. You should know the business, and that's for any business, before you just say, hey, I'll do it, go out there and just take a run for it.
So youngsters, y'all can see you can start off working for the man and you can branch off and be the woman on your own. So thank you for that insight. And we're gonna go to Connie now. And Connie, tell us from your standpoint, you started your own, and is it the same as what Katrina was saying? You saw something and said, I want to run my own?
This is what I'm doing right now. Right now, I have my personal private, where I go into a personal home who can afford to bring 24 hour. Right now, they're at 12-hour care, but they can afford to bring 24-hour care into. Everybody can't afford that. That's very, very expensive. And for them to go into a facility, they have to, because they can afford to pay, they have to pay even more to have to go through the agencies. And so where I come in at is working for myself. I undercut the nursing home facilities and the agencies that offer this type of service that I do. I go in for myself, by myself, and I work directly with the families, cut out everybody else. And it's just me and them. And that way
Connie, here's the devil's advocate to you. You only have 86,400 seconds. That's all you are afforded every day. So you can only do so much in 86,400 seconds. So how do you grow that? Because you can only do so much.
By putting another me on the team. So I got 80 something and they got 80 something, and we got that doubles it up and we can do more. You just add more to, when you able, you just bring more into it. Like I said, me personal, my daughter does it too with me, but
excellent.
We work with doctors. The doctor who she works for has 4 clinics that he handles with the aging, and they're constantly. I don't have to advertise. Everything comes word of mouth. People who know me.
Yeah.
Who know what
it's word of mouth is credibility, and also if you need to go and do some recourse, you got someone you can talk to. So let's do this. This is going to be new for you guys. I want you to walk away with the big picture here. In Chicago, Roseland, 60628 zip code is the global headquarters for nursing from our standpoint. Governor Charles Robinson and I talk every third Wednesday of the month about where we are from a nursing standpoint. We both ignorant to nursing, but it's the fact we know how valuable you guys are. And our philosophy is, how do we make sure that block by block, we find young people that want to become nurses, and we can tell because they love caring for other people, which is what you guys do. So that's what we do from 60628 is we search everywhere for those people who love caring for others. And this video that we have here is going to be excellent because Katrina and Connie, the young people know that they can not just go and be unhappy at a hospital, but they can start their own eventually. So that's real encouraging for the youngsters to hear that. So the other thing is Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas is the national headquarters for nursing. So 60628 is the global headquarters. Dallas is y'all national. So we want to get y'all to Dallas, Texas eventually too. And South Africa is the headquarters in Africa from nursing. So out of all 55 nations over there, South Africa is the headquarters for nursing over there. The other thing I want to tell you guys is we've asked you guys to be concentrated on helping fifth graders exclusively. All nurses help fifth graders out. And that's from anything, if they need a winter coat, no shoes, no boots, whatever. But if we get nurses and fifth graders tied together, that's gonna help us. So that means when we talk to fifth grade parents, we're telling them to support nurses even more so because it's a reciprocal relationship there. And like I said, next year, March 4th through 6th, we want to physically be at the Grant Theater in Gary, Indiana. And we're going to work on getting all the other cities to send up somebody to be at this convention. And we're going to broadcast it. We're going to have sponsors. We're going to get hospitals to come. And the last thing I got is Deborah Hoffman. She was born June 9, 1953. She transitioned December 13, 2018. She was a RN, you guys. She comes from one of our superstars, Pamela Dominguez family. Melina is her daughter. And I told them we have what we call ancestor nurses. So we want to keep building the list of all the people who transitioned, who were nurses, and capture what they meant to our society so our children can grow up knowing and never forgetting, in this case, Deborah Hoffman as a registered nurse. Lena Thompson was also in the healthcare world. January 29, 1951. She transitioned September 4th, 2020 at Rush on the west side of Chicago. And then the last piece is the birthdays. Today is Keisha Nesbitt's birthday. She's a registered nurse out of Houston, Texas. I told her I'd give her a shout out as a nurse on this nursing convention. All right, everyone got 2 minutes. What's your closing statement? And I didn't get Katrina's and Connie's themes. I need to get y'all themes and then close it out with 2 minutes and then we're done.
Let me go with my theme real quick before I forget.
I'm ready.
Nursing, you must have a loving, caring heart. You must care first. And you must be able to stand blood and boo-boo. Now that's just keeping the real part.
Well, the theme would be blood and boo-boo then.
Well, I'm just trying to say, the only way you're gonna get through that part, you got to have a love, caring.
So let me make sure I got this right. You want the shirts next year to say blood and boo-boo 2022?
No. I'm just putting the bad part too. But you must, in order to deal with that first, you got to have a loving, caring heart, and that way that boo-boo and that blood ain't gonna matter too much.
All right.
The heart, you got to have a loving, caring heart for this type of work.
Okay. All right. And then this your closing. That's your closing. Anything else?
Loving, caring heart for me. Next.
All right, Katrina, what's your theme? And then your closing remarks. Yeah, you on mute.
You're on mute.
Thank you guys. I don't know, nursing and wellness, nurses. Give me a minute to think about it. I don't know.
You can email it to me.
Let me think about it. I don't know. And in closing, I just feel like we can all do whatever we put our minds to. You know, don't give up. Even when people tell you you can't do it, just keep going. Keep going.
Is it something that a kid can see in themselves? Do y'all think that they can see in themselves right now that it say nursing is for me?
Can I just share one quick experience? I had this 18-year-old that is a caregiver for me. She never worked in the hospital, never cared, but she said she wanted to be a nurse. When I trained her in the patient's home, I can see her, as Miss Constance said, her love and compassion. She wasn't timid. She actually was, I can see that she will actually make a good nurse. So it's kind of like, it's something within that person. You'll see it. You know, if you can stand aside and put yourself in that, have empathy. That's the word. Just have empathy for another person.
You must have empathy.
That's it for me.
Excellent, excellent. All right, Brittany, your closing remarks, and then we're done.
My closing remarks, if there's anything that I can say, is it about what kids can see themselves? That's the question, right?
Not whatever, yeah, but we all inspiring the youth. That's what it's all about.
Oh, inspiring. Okay, one thing that I would say is to the youth, if you really want to do nursing, reach out, constantly look for people, events, social gatherings where if there's something you want to do, whatever it is, seek advice, seek mentors, keep looking for people to encourage you, because it's going to be good times, bad times, hard things are going to have to get through. And I think the best thing to keep you moving forward is to have a support group. Definitely works for me.
All right. So in conclusion, you guys, I want everyone from Miami, Birmingham, New Orleans, Detroit, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Gary, Chicago, Atlanta to know this is the first. We need you to make sure that anyone you know, transition or not, that's a nurse, we need to get them into our database so we can build on this. So next year we can have a physical weekend extravaganza dealing with people who love caring for others. And we want to make that a big deal. We want the shirts being sold all over the country. We want to pay homage to you guys who are out there, caring for others, caring sometimes more than family members are caring for their own loved ones. So I thank you guys for everything that you do. And I don't think you get paid enough. Might not be enough money to you, because just caring for people, you can't put a price tag on it. Thank you guys for your time, and we return the rest of the day.
You can't put a price tag on it when you love it.
I totally agree. All right, good. So everyone, we'll be back later on this evening for the fifth graders. We're going to do something for you fifth graders later on tonight. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
And thanks, ladies.